Hey everyone, welcome to Awesome Video Game Memories, where we talk about awesome memories about video games. I'm Ryan.
I'm Josh.
That's Josh, and that's Ryan.
That's Frank.
And that's Frank. Frank! So anyways, the game we are going to be talking about on this episode of Awesome Video Game Memories is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game.
Better!
So what's not to say about this game? You guys, like where did you first play it? What was your first reaction to actually playing it?
Oh. Well, if you've got something, go for it, man.
Pizza Hut.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool. I played it at Chuck E. Cheese, and that was kind of the only game I played, rather than, you know, go and skee ball and all the other games right there. How are you, Josh?
The first time I saw it was at Washington Square Mall in Indianapolis back in probably '89 when it came out. Instead of being like at an actual arcade, like there was a part toward the middle of the mall where it kind of separates out into different branches, where there was about 10 arcade games that were like put back to back to back to back. It was just kind of these two rows, you know, and you just kind of stop along the way and you play a game and you go along your way, or you cry because your mom won't let you play. And there was this Ninja Turtles game, and I was like, oh my god, Ninja Turtles game, ah! And Mom let me play it, and it was, to me at the time, as a little kid, it looked just like the show. I was playing the show. You can see the difference now, but like back then, oh my god, it looked exactly like the TV show. I played as Michelangelo, and I went through the apartment, and it was on fire and everything. And I thought that when the Foot Ninja were throwing ninja stars, if they hit me in the shell, it was no big deal, because things could bounce off the turtle shells in the show. And I didn't realize I was losing health to that, so eventually I did end up dying like pretty quickly on. But it was the best experience of my life, even though I died.
So basically, you were fighting the foot soldiers facing the other way.
Well, yeah, kind of. Like I was fighting them, but like the ones who were like throwing ninja stars, like, I was just like, nope, here's my shell, and I didn't realize it was hurting me. Right?
Okay, cool. So, like, which characters did you guys normally play as, if the spot was available?
Alright, so like I started off playing as Mikey more, but I ended up switching over to Raph for the most part.
Oh really? Okay.
Because well, except for in the actual arcade game where like the weapon links were different, I would play as Donatello because he had a huge reach advantage. But like on the home version, I played as Raphael a lot. One, because one of my friends, he was like, "No, I'm Michelangelo," and I just didn't feel like arguing. And also because Raphael, like, he was my favorite for a while, and also because like on the NES version, there was something I could do with Raph where I could get like just a certain distance away from Bebop, and I'd just be able to hit him, and he wouldn't be able to hit me back.
Oh,
that I wasn't able to do with the other turtles. So I played as Raph a lot. What about you guys?
Obviously Michelangelo, you know, like whenever I had the chance, but if other kids were on the other turtles, I would just play you know, like as whoever. But I also kind of like playing as Don too, because, you know, he had the reach, but it really didn't matter in the arcade game anyway.
Me, Frank. Well, I played Leo. He had two swords, and my logic back then was two swords are better than one.
Exactly.
And then followed by either Raph or Don, and then Mike was always in the game.
Yeah, so like when you guys were playing the game, how many dollars in quarters did your parents give you? My parents would always give me $5, which was 20 tokens, and I could never beat the game on my own unless I was with other people.
I don't remember exactly how much I was given in money, but I mean, I would say, as difficult of the game as it was, I could usually at least get to the parking garage where you have to fight both Bebop and Rocksteady at the same time. Okay, cool. So it was probably a decent amount of money considering how much of a quarter sucker that game is. Right. So probably around the same.
Frank?
Farthest I got was to Baxter Stockman.
Okay.
The game was at Pizza Hut, and we never stood there long enough to get beat the game entirely. Right. It was always, oh, pizza's here. It's like, well, I gotta go.
So you just gave up.
Yeah, I gave up. Like, okay.
You're like, you know what, April, you can save yourself. Pizza's here.
Pizza's here.
Time for you to learn some self-reliance.
Right? Jeez, learn some ninja training. You hang out in the sewer with a bunch of ninjas. Come on.
Use your boobs, distract them.
No, it was the 20th century. You need to step it up. That's not the furthest I ever got. I have actually beaten the game legit, but that's because the more money you put in, the more likely you're gonna get to the end.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah, but that's generally as far as I got with Bebop and Rocksteady, which those guys together were hellacious, especially if you were by yourself.
Right. Probably on like $5, I can probably get up to the level right before the Technodrome, which was the factory, and I'd probably get a little bit past those blue flying bots, and then that's probably it. I'd probably get killed by the rock soldier or those lasers that would come before it.
I think I spent $1 on that game, and then later on, I wished I had that dollar. Yeah, I think I remember that.
Alright, so considering the length of the game, like, back as a kid, did you, like, realize it was a really long game or a really short game? Because, you know, like, when I play the Xbox Live version, or if I play it on an emulator, it's a really, really short game, considering I have unlimited quarters. But and then I realized also there's only 5 levels. Like, did you guys realize it was a really short game or a really long game if you were playing either by yourself or with other kids?
My idea of how long the game was more based on the Nintendo version, which had like 700 enemies to fight by the time you were done, and so that took like a good hour or so maybe. But yeah, I didn't really realize that game was short. But at the time, like arcade games back then, like you didn't really sit around and just play it unless it was like Street Fighter or something, and you were going until like you lost. And then got back in line again to face against another opponent. With those games, like you never really beat them anyway, so I never really noticed how long the game was because I didn't really beat it that many times at the arcade.
Exactly. Okay.
Me, Frank.
I always thought it was like 3 levels.
3 levels? Is that how far you got a Pizza Hut?
No, I got back to Stockman, and I just assumed there was just 3 other levels because I saw the demos and whatnot.
So kind of to you, Baxter Stockman was the last boss.
Yeah, well, we were only in Pizza Hut for, you know, the pizza, and by the time we were done, it's not like they're gonna hang out. It's like, okay, pizza's done, let's get out of here.
Okay, so when exactly, Frank, did you see the whole game?
Only last year?
Last year? Yeah.
What, 2013?
2013. Yeah, 2013.
Yeah, okay, so last...
Oh my god, there's more than 3?
So last year I invited Josh and Frank over to play like Turtles Arcade on Xbox Live with me, and I didn't realize Frank had never been through the entire game until
I was like, I remember this, back to something I caught, and then after that it's like, I mean, uncharted waters, don't let them know. Oh!
You fight me over Rocksteady again?
I totally saw that coming.
That's not as bad as Jeff playing Super Mario Brothers for the first time last year. These guys don't even know Jeff.
He should be like deported if he deported.
Yeah.
The first American to be deported.
Oh man.
So anyways, like a year later, Ultra, aka Konami, like released the arcade game on the NES. So, like, did you guys think it was exactly like the arcade, or what did you guys think of the NES arcade conversion?
When I was excited about it, I was extremely excited. I knew that it'd come out, but I can't remember how. I think it was a comic book ad that showed the arcade game, the bloops and ooze, and then it turned out a Nintendo game. It was like, 2 new levels and blah blah blah. And I was like, all right, cool. I got it for my birthday at Chuck E. Cheese, and I probably was louder than any machine in there at that point with excitement, holding it above my head. I don't know, there's probably a picture somewhere. And I was super excited for it. When I took it home, I played it, and I knew the obvious graphical difference, which was like, whatever, no big deal. This is Nintendo. Nintendo is not as powerful as arcade. I can handle that. The thing that kind of bugged me about it was that I think by that point the little 4-player extension thing for NES had already come out, And I had seen a couple of games, like a wrestling game or whatever, that was up to 6 players or whatever. And the fact that it was still only two players on Nintendo, that was the thing that really bugged me, is I was just kind of like, man, we can't get the full experience out of this. The graphical quality, the less animations and all this stuff, whatever, not a big deal. It was the full experience of 4-player was the thing that kind of bugged me as a kid. But overall, I still really, really enjoyed it, and I played it all the time.
So basically, when you were playing with your friends, only 2 people can play, and the rest of your friends had to stand back and watch.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, or like I would just like, you know, play it with like the one best friend of mine sort of thing, and we would play it together, and like no one else was around. And like later on, when other kids came over, we would go outside and play or whatever.
How about you, Frank?
I never owned a Super Nintendo.
It came out pretty regular Nintendo.
Well, I never got it for the Nintendo.
Okay.
So, by the time I played it last year, I was like,
Okay.
At least I don't have any quarters on me.
I remember during Christmas, like the year it came out, I was really excited when I got it, and then when I put it into my NES, something kind of didn't feel right. You know, obviously I knew it wasn't gonna match the arcade, but I don't know, it just kind of felt a little lost on me. I mean, those extra 2 levels were okay. I didn't really like them that much. I didn't care for the extra bosses, and it took me a long time to beat the game because I just wasn't really motivated to play it, because no, this doesn't feel like the arcade game that much. It feels kind of streamlined for the NES. It has way different hit detection, kind of different than the loose hit detection from the arcade. But overall, I still enjoyed it, but obviously not as much as the arcade.
Well, yeah, definitely. The arcade, even though I loved playing it on Nintendo, it was still different enough that when I did find an arcade Turtles, like actual machine somewhere, like it was still like an amazing treasure. One of those things like, oh my god, it's the real arcade game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop a quarter in and play some of this. And you know, I didn't use up all of my quarters on it at that point because I had it at home and I had played it so many times. But still, it was like, oh, this is a treat. Yeah, you know, before going on and playing like some X-Men or something like that.
Yeah, like basically the NES version made us appreciate how much better the arcade version was.
I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's how I kind of felt.
Plus the excitement and playing with like 3 other random people.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, I don't know these guys, but right now we're bros.
We are
the Turtles.
Life, or for however many lives I have left.
Cowabunga!
We are bros for 3 lives.
Or until our moms get us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, any closing thoughts on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game?
It's amazing, and people who follow me on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that know that one of the things that I want in life, if I could only have like a few certain possessions, would be an actual legit Ninja Turtles arcade machine in my living room that I could play. And that would just be the greatest thing ever, but they're really expensive right now, and I don't make any money doing this.
Yeah, well, if you ever get it, I'll come over and play.
Oh yeah, like all the time people will be coming over being like, yo, Josh, I brought some beer, let's play Turtles. You know.
And I would actually prefer to put in real quarters rather than, you know, having free play on the dip switches.
Oh yeah, I'm not even sure the dip switches have free play, but I know I know there's a thing you can set it. When I play it on an emulator, I can set it so it's like 35 lives per quarter or something. So you know, you would only need like 50 cents to get through the game.
Yeah. It was cool when the game was released on Xbox Live, but now it's no longer on Xbox Live. Now it's kind of they actually removed the game a while back because of the licensing issues.
The licensing.
So there's really no legitimate way to play the arcade game on a console right now.
Yeah, but you could get like a JAMA board or something and like put it on a, I can't remember what they call it, a super gun. Yeah. It's kind of like a console that's made to hold the actual chip for the arcade, and then like you could play it that way on like a Sega Genesis controller or whatever. I thought about doing that too. It's a lot less expensive and a lot less bulky, But yeah, I still want that machine at some point in my life.
And I want to make sure I play it when you get it. All right, cool.
I'm saving up my pennies, and then I'm using them all on pizza.
Well, if you didn't eat so much pizza, maybe you could save up for the arcade game.
It's a dangerous choice you're proposing.
Right.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. What about you guys?
Yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
All right, awesome. Hey, there's gonna be a link in the description to a video on my personal channel about some cool stuff that was cut from this game. So definitely go and take a look. It's really awesome. And I do some really goofy, stupid line at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, take a look at that. That'll be in the description. Anything else you guys want to plug?
Oh no, that's pretty much it.
That's Ryan. That's Josh.
That's Frank.
And he's Frank.
And hey, like and subscribe, or that won't be Frank anymore. That'll be dead.
Yeah, and if you have any memories about this game, make sure you post them in the comments below. And if you have a game that you'd like for us to talk about on Awesome Video Game Memories, make sure you post them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.
Later.
Later.